Hi everyone, it's Tess, and today we're gonna do a wrap up on day 3. Today Doc V talked about, we kind of talked about like the foundation. He's gonna give us 4 foundational items, and we know we've talked about that the number 1 thing is meditation, and the number 2 thing is the journaling. And I was gonna show you my journals today, but they haven't arrived yet, but maybe by tomorrow. And then number 3, today we talked about water. And I'll say a little bit briefly. I'll give you a few minutes just to make sure people are on. I know I get so excited, I start talking. Hi, Sabrina. Nice to see you. Hi, Catherine Clark. Hello, everyone. Okay, I am, bring them on camera. Are people wanting to be on camera? That's a new toy. I don't know about that one. Okay, anyways, I'll start again. Today we're talking about 3 foundational items. The first one we talked about on day 1, which is meditation. The second day we talked about journaling, and we talked about the idea that you may use journals for different things. Don't become obsessed about filling out every single line every single day. It's just about recording, and you expand and learn like what direction you want to go in. I love my journals, but I know you guys already know that because I had a pile of them and I've already ordered more. And then water. Water is critical. And today I had to run out, masked and face shield, because my cell phone battery went dead, and I found a new water bottle. It's as big as my head, you know, like those big gulp containers. But I like to know that I can get 1 or 2 containers and get my daily allotment of water in. So this is something, I put it through the dishwasher and I'll use it, start using it tomorrow. But the biggest gift you can give yourself is the water. It will allow you to keep yourself full. It will allow you to have, you know, and Doc V talked about it, and even in doing some research, the water is critical for all parts of your body. He did mention, you know, that the blood is basically water. And I can remember when I was severely anemic, I tried to run a 5K, which probably wasn't really advisable at the time because I had really low hemoglobin at the time. I can remember not being able to breathe. And it's true, oxygen is brought through your body on blood, which is all water. So water, the greatest thing that I think it's done for me lately is it keeps me away from food. So if you can get the water in, and I find that if I start my day drinking a lot of water, it just kind of comes naturally. So definitely do that. Remember, our 3 pillars, or our 3 foundations right now are meditation, journaling, and water. Now today, the other topic that Doc V talked about is probably my number 1 thing that this past year has been all about. And I know I kind of talked about it yesterday. And given a choice, what would you choose? And I know we would all choose happiness, but I think sometimes we don't recognize when we are doing things that prevent us from being happy. And I think some of that, like I talked about yesterday, in that like our self-talk, we all want to be happy, but we get so wrapped up in trying to make other people happy, and we're never going to make somebody else happy. So as he's even said in prior days, keeping ourselves open, learning who we are so that we can find our best life and keep ourselves open and choose happiness, that's going to be, that's probably been the greatest thing for me. I've noticed that people are reacting to me differently. I had a conversation with my boss yesterday because we were trying to finish up annual statements, and I could tell the way she was talking to me that she doesn't really know me anymore. And it seems kind of amazing that in a year of remote working, we've kind of lost touch. I kind of hope it stays remote, but we'll see how that goes. But I'm not sorry. Sorry, but not sorry. And I'm not sorry because this life has to be the best gift that I give myself. I can't give that control to somebody else. So we all know, and we'll say the words that we choose. We choose to be happy, but are we willing to do what it takes to be happy? Are we willing to, as the doc says, keep ourselves open and experience the things that are true to our hearts and true to our journeys without allowing the outside people or expecting the outside people to validate it? We need to, you know, like he said, this is a great tool. The awesome thing, like from Sadhguru, who is, when he said that the only thing that the outside world ever is going to be able to give you is success. So in that respect, I do need my boss and my coworkers, because success will come from them. But every other part of what he talked about today has complete 100% control within us. So I guess I'll kind of read back. If anyone has questions, let me know. I will kind of watch and see. I haven't seen any questions come up yet, but all thank you for watching, because I know it's a Saturday night and it was a beautiful day today. So that you're here right now is, I know you're committed to trying to make changes. So I'm going to just briefly, I have not got this memorized like the doc does, but the things that came out of the video today, and it was only a 4-minute video, but it had a whole bunch of nuggets in it. If your body becomes pleasant, we call this health. And almost every one of us did join this journey towards weight loss for better health. So if your body becomes pleasant, we call this health. So I think that goes even back to when we carry our bodies in a lot of stress and a lot of anxiety and a lot of anxiousness and a lot of worry, we do cause bad health. And I know that I feel healthier than I've ever felt, because I've learned over the past year to let go of putting that control in somebody else's hands. And that has been 1,000,000% meditation, learning to let go, let those thoughts go, the angry monkey. And my monkey, I don't know where he's hiding right now, but I have no intentions of going to find him. He can stay gone forever. If he joins somebody else's little tribe, that's fine with me. So the first step, or all these steps, most of the steps that we saw in the video today are about us. Our body will become pleasant, we will be healthy. If it's very pleasant, we will have pleasure, and we all want pleasure. If our mind becomes pleasant, we call this peace. And I can say that I feel peace now. I feel peace in that I'm not looking over my shoulder every day, worrying about letting somebody down or missing something that, disappointing someone. Because the people that matter the most in my life are going to be behind me to support me, no matter what the journey. The people that aren't supporting me, I can't really value what their opinions are. So that pleasure, like he said, you leave the outside world out. All of these things, our health, when our body feels good, our health is good. When our body feels very pleasant, it's pleasure. When your mind becomes pleasant, it's peace. And when it becomes very pleasant, it's joy. And when it becomes pleasant, when it becomes very pleasant, it's love, our emotions. When our emotions become pleasant, it's love. And when that becomes very pleasant, we call it compassion. And your very life energies become pleasant, we call this bliss. And boy, that sounds like an awesome place to live for most of our lives. Hi, Mandy. So I guess all of us, and it's kind of like, if you think about an emotional scale where there's anger and disappointment and frustration, but on the top is joy. And that's kind of a law of attraction thing. Joy and happiness and love is the top end. And if the only thing we have to do to get to the top end of that emotional scale, which will bring us, because it says right here, emotions become pleasant and bring us love. If they're very pleasant, it's compassion, which leads us into ecstasy. If we're in control of that, except for the success piece of it, we have to take those steps. And I do think it is about having your body feel healthy and then having your mind feel healthy. And the diet and the tricks that he's giving us about the meditation and about the no sugar, get rid of the artificial sugars, get rid of the processed foods, eat more fruits and vegetables, that will heal our health. But the mind part is where the meditation heals. And I know I mentioned yesterday that I listened to hours and hours and hours of I am affirmations, trying to overcome some obstacles, and it did help me, but I did have to write journals, and I had to listen, and I had to consciously, when I started to say something in a negative turn, flip it. And in a way, remote work has been helpful for me too, because if I can feel the stresses within the office environment, I can always send an instant message or because we do the IMs all day long, I can always send a pleasant, uplifting thing. Where in the office, unfortunately, I have a face that tells my emotions. So even if I'm saying nice words, and that's where I have to bridge the gap, even if I'm saying the really nice words, it may not show on my face. My emotions show on my face. So if we can bridge that gap and make sure that everything that's flowing out of our bodies is positive self-talk, it'll build self-worth, and it will keep us in the places where we're going to find the love, the compassion, the ecstasy, the bliss that he was talking about in today's video. Again, if anybody has any questions, please feel free to pop them in and I will watch for them. I love today's video. I have listened to it many, many, many times. I've written it down many times. I just haven't memorized it yet. But my number one thing this past year has been using meditation to quiet the negative self-talk in my mind. I, for too long, lived trying to prevent anything I thought could go wrong. Oh, sure, anytime. Thanks, Marilyn, for listening. But I spent too much time planning what I was going to do if, and 99% of the time, if didn't happen. And at this point in time, we're all skilled enough to manage in uncomfortable situations, because really, in most cases, you have to say, okay, you know what? We're not getting anywhere. Let's break and we'll discuss this later and move on. But we don't want to dwell in it, because our mind, the beautiful tool, this machine that we all know about, I truly believe, and from everything I'm reading and I've heard from Doc V before and from other groups and other books that I've read, if we keep our mind focused on something, it will work towards making that happen. And if you keep thinking all these negative thoughts, it's almost like you bring them to you. And in this past year where I've worked very hard to just stop, keep myself open, block off all the pollution. I'm going to call it pollution because it is. Just block off that pollution, keeping it open, keeping myself directed forward, thinking positively. And like he said, it's me. I control whether I'm happy or not. If I keep myself open and I keep myself happy, I feel good. And you know, I think I'm a better friend to other people too, because I'm not waiting for what I think they're going to do. I'm enjoying them. If an obstacle comes up, we can just move forward. I am by nature a proactive, got a plan, you know, make sure things are in control, but I've spent too much time. I can adjust if things need to be adjusted. So I have to trust that those things will happen the way they're supposed to happen and live and enjoy life. You know, our days here are short, so we want to be enjoying the time that we have here. So if you think about that meditation, like Cher Kiltoff had talked about the other day, if you think about it and the idea of meditation makes you uncomfortable, if you think about that prayer as you talking to God or to Source or to whoever it is that you think that you are comfortable talking to, think of that meditation side as that quiet time so that entity can talk back to you. And use the time also to clear the negative self-talk. That for me has been the number one top gift I've given myself. I remember, yeah, you know, Catherine Clark, I am notorious for that. And this past year, I've really dug in. And I've done a lot of reading about it, and I'm recognizing it. Am I perfect at it? No, because I'll share this too. One of my other little funny stories, but the meditations are working so well, and I've been in busy season. I mean, we have 3/1 deadlines, and normally right now I would have 15 cold sores. I would be sick. I wouldn't be able to breathe because my lungs would be so filled with gunk because one, I was probably making bad food choices, but also because I became sick. At this point in time, I'd be close to being like, and it wasn't uncommon for me to get through busy season and my lungs, and I would be so bad with like bronchitis that they would be telling me that there was barely room for me to breathe, because I am a person with a very high tolerance of pain. And this season, I'm like, I don't care, you know, and I think my boss even recognized it yesterday. I think she's scared I'm leaving, and it's not that, I'm just different. But I forgot what my funny story was gonna be. Maybe I'll think of it later. But I remember what it was now. Meditation during this time, I'm not perfect. I'm a lot better than I was a year ago. 99% there now. But I still have that 1%. And there's been a couple of days that were really, really horrible. And there was one day that I was so bad that I would get up to start my day and I go, I'm not ready yet. And I think I went back in and meditated like 6 times before I was ready to start the day, because I'm like, I can't clear it. I can't clear it. I can't clear it. And I can't start till I get it cleared. So I have found the meditation really helpful in clearing the junk. And the other things I've done too is I'm very careful about what I watch. It is, Catherine, and I would say try it or find the method that works for you, because meditation is kind of a key. And the other keys I kind of use to keep the junk out so that I can continue to be the positive person that he talks about in the video today is that I'm careful what I watch before. I don't watch much TV at all anymore because there's so much I'm trying to catch up on from learning, you know, because I like it. Any of you guys out there that are on the fence about this journey, I'm at a point where I can't get enough of it. I want more hours in the day so I can read more and I can learn more and I can practice more and I want to do more work on my YouTube channel. I want to do more work on reading this book. I want to do more work on a business plan. I want to do more, you know, there's so much that you can do and get involved in. Thanks, Denise. At least I'm not boring you guys to death. But I know that it's like I don't know why I waited so long, because there's so many things. And Doc V, he does encourage us. If we are willing to listen, he'll encourage. Because like I said, even my YouTube videos, and I got permission because I wanted to make sure I had permission. But I'll post my YouTube channel in the comments today, so that if any of you want to follow me, and I just do like a 10-minute every morning, and it's an accountability for me, because I don't know if I told you guys this, but I lost over 100 pounds probably about 15 years ago. Ran into some medical problems, gained every bit of it back, got to a point where the weight was just climbing on. I showed you that picture before of where I was before surgery. I had bariatric surgery and I've lost again. And when COVID hit and I started seeing all these groups, and these were bariatric groups that I was following, talking and laughingly talking about the COVID-5, the COVID-10, the COVID-15. I got scared, and I got really scared because I knew I had already failed once. And I didn't want to go down that path again. Because in my eyes, what I kept thinking to myself is, and please know that we have all struggled, and this is no judgment on anyone else. This is a tool that I tried to use to keep myself on track. In my head, what I kept saying to myself is, you spent how many weeks at home recovering? How much money was spent by an insurance company to give you this surgery? How much money was out of pocket? Because I have a high deductible savings plan, so I pay a big chunk before it ever kicks in. And I thought, am I willing to waste it? Am I willing to waste it? And I kind of got desperate, and I started looking around. And one of my friends, who is still in the group to this day, reached out and said, I think you and I have both outgrown that other group. This is where I'm at, and I think this is where you belong. And I'm going to tell you, I was uncomfortable. At first, I was uncomfortable. It was exactly like he said. It was outside of my comfort zone. But when I've reached out of that comfort zone, I've wished I had done it sooner. Yeah, Gina, that's awesome, because so many people have gained, and I don't want to judge them, because it could have been me. It could have been me, but I found something to help me, and it was Doc V, and it was this challenge. And even his challenge is only as good as what you're willing to put into it, but it's worth it. I mean, he pushes us in ways. If you're willing to take a chance, when he pushes you out of your comfort zone, you're going to find amazing things. And I know I've even said yesterday and the day before that, hi, Kate, it's good to see you. And I know that there's even more coming. I mean, I can feel it. I feel in a way that I'm living the life that I was meant to live. You know, like, and I mentioned this yesterday, and I actually told my mom, and she kind of giggled about it, because I always joke that I walk my mom. My mom is nearly, is she 80? She's probably 80. You know, I mean, because she's like, I got an almost 60-year-old daughter. So she has a dream, and we have a local park that closes in like just around Thanksgiving, and you walk the Festival of Lights through a park that we have here, and it's like a 5 to 6 mile walk. When my mom was younger, we used to do it all the time, and my mom wants to do it again. So I always jokingly say I walk my mom every day. And we got probably about 6,000 steps, 7,000 steps in today when we walked. But we're getting ready, because I told her we can't wait till a month before the event. We need to be ready. And we were getting ready, and we were walking 4 miles 3 or 4 times a week. But of course, with COVID, they didn't hold the event, but it really wouldn't have been, I wouldn't have let her go. Together, you know what, Kate, you're right. We are all together. And that's the cool thing. Like, whenever the job gets in the way sometimes, but whenever I can, like, I catch Kate live, or if I can't catch her live, I catch Kate in her replays, and Ying does a lot of replays. John Clark has started a Facebook group. We all try to support each other, because we all have lived this life, and we've all been on this journey, and we want to continue on this journey. And this COVID has been a test for all of us. Some of us have stumbled, and that's okay, because right now, today, hard stop, it's gone, it's over, and you just do one thing to move forward. And maybe that one thing is joining this challenge with us. For me, I'm going to stalk Doc V for the rest of my life, because I don't want to stop moving forward. I want the... And I say that jokingly, because I'm not really a stalker, but I want to continue to improve my life. And he pulls us. Not only does he hand up, but he'll pull you up higher than you thought you could go. And it is uncomfortable sometimes. Adulting, yes, adulting. And Kate Aarons is he gives us our daily kick in the pants, and it's about adulting. And sometimes it's uncomfortable. And if you're willing to get uncomfortable, you're going to start to find the amazing. Because, you know, maybe what the number one question is, what you've been doing now, is it getting you where you want to be? Is it getting you where you want to be? And if it's not, what are you going to do to change it? And every day I kind of ask myself that, because am I perfectly there? Oh no. I kind of figure I may be 15% there, because there's a whole lot more that I want. And my accomplishments in this past year are leaps above what I've ever done in any prior year. And I do credit this challenge 100% with doing that, because I was in other groups, and I'm not mentioning names because I think they all have a purpose and we're all at a different place. But what I found with COVID, what happened one day is I sat down and I was looking, and they were posting ways to take all the foods that I had to stop eating to succeed in this journal and make them healthy, and I'm going to quote this, healthy, adding protein to them. And I realized, and you know what, Mandy, that's you're right now, and today is the fresh start. That past stuff is gone, and we're all, because I stumbled earlier this week. I went up slightly. It's off now, but that's why my tool for me, and you can only do it if you don't get emotional about it. I weigh myself every single day. But for me, it's less emotional for me to see that number, go, oh yeah, I didn't drink enough water, or oh, you know what, I think I ate one time too many, or oh, I didn't walk, or I'm letting stress get to me. It's easier for me to take off that little bite and adjust, because historically what I would do is I'd go, yeah, I'm not going to weigh myself today, because I'm going to give myself 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, and I'm going to lose that, because I'm pretty sure I'm up. And if I'm up, I'm going to just give myself 3 or 4 days, I'm going to lose it. And then it turns into a week or a month or a year, and I gained. Soul and the spirit. Yeah, those are the best ones. You know, the health part, he'll definitely help you on the health part, but the soul and the spirit part, the believing in yourself, the reaching past the boundaries that you're going to reach past boundaries you didn't you never saw. I mean, I think there's a life out there that we're not seeing. I think we got into this, for me, I got onto this little alley and I just felt kind of protected and hiding behind the little buildings and behind the bushes. But that for me isn't okay, because I don't, you know, the day that I graduate and I stand before God, or whoever it is that you feel your next step will be, I want it to be a job well done. I want them to go, yeah, kind of hesitated a little there in the beginning, and we're getting kind of worried, but you got to go with it. And I mentioned this yesterday, and I told my mom about it, and she laughed and she said, "You're right." And I said, my grandma always wanted me to be vocal more. I wrote autobiographies in 5th grade, and teachers were telling me, "You made me laugh and cry, and you need to share more." But I've always been that quiet person, so doing this was really hard. But I'm more comfortable with it because you guys are so supportive. It's awesome. But I told my mom today, I said, I feel like my grandma is cheering, because she would, I mean, I would write a thank you card and she'd send it to people out of state, and I'm like, "What are you doing?" "Well, it was so nicely written." And I'm like, "What is wrong with you, Grandma?" But it's kind of cool now that I feel like I've reached what she was trying to pull out of me. And I'm sorry, Grandma, I didn't let you pull it out of me, but I finally got there, and you get to watch. So that's pretty awesome. So, I feel all the lessons I learned from Doc B and the people in the challenges helped me more in 7 to 8 months. Yes, Mandy, I agree. And Mandy and I kind of have a history together. And again, I will never mention names, because everybody has a right to a journey that fits what their needs are at the time. And I think I outgrew where I was at, and I needed to move into something that allowed me the next level. And this has given me the next level. You see, Kate's been at goal weight since 2009. It's possible, you guys. It's possible. We have, Kate does amazing things, and she's giving back in unique and wonderful ways. And there's even more. I mean, there's people at every place in the journey in the tribe. So there's people you can reach out to. Thank you, Marilyn. There's people you can reach out to. And like Doc V said, you want to model the behavior of people that are succeeding. And we have people at all levels of succeeding, and we're all kind of pulling each other up. Because as maybe, and hopefully I'm pulling somebody up, there's always somebody that's pulling me up. So together, he talks about the tribe. Wouldn't it be cool if we can all grow and it can expand out, and we can create a network that makes everybody positive and everybody happy? It makes me sad when I see, you know, like even me, I live, just 2 days ago, my parents were freaking out because I live about a city block away from them, but 2 streets down, SWAT teams and police were, you know, because people are having problems, and you don't want people to have problems. So we've got to get in, March, thanks. 1 year in group is in March. See, Catherine, I can't remember exactly. I think I hit, I don't know if I hit in March or April, but it was when COVID first started hitting, but I was either March or April too. And this has been for me the greatest gift I've given myself, because I came from, and a lot of people can't say this, I came from an amazing bariatric team. They were really, really good. But in the medical community, and I've worked in the medical community in the risk management area where the medical malpractice is all taken care of. And it is a business. And what Doc wants to help us with is what they would refer you over to a psychologist. And again, I'm not medical. I just am an accounting type person who did insurance type stuff. But it is a business. And he wanted, and his heart told him to help us, because he didn't want us to all continue to go get revision surgeries. He wanted us to address this part, because you can have you can have multiple surgeries, and it won't work if you don't start addressing this. Long before I ever had surgery, it's probably when they very, very first started doing these kind of surgeries. I worked in an office with a woman who had it, and I think she turned me off on this surgery for a very, very long time. And I hope today she's alive. I don't know. She had they cut her stomach and they rerouted everything. And I mean, the extreme surgeries that people were dying from back then. She had those extreme surgeries. And I can remember her coming back to the office, and within 6 months, she was drinking pop, carbonated pop, to the point that she would have cases. And before I left that company, she had had 4 surgeries, and they told her that if she didn't manage it, the next surgery would have killed her. And I think that turned me off for a long time. And I hope she's alive. I hope she overcame the obstacle, because I didn't understand. I thought, and I know I've said this before, I thought I was well adjusted. I thought I had it all together. I thought I knew everything. What do you mean I'm a pessimist? What do you mean I'm a negative self-talker? I am not. Yeah, I really was. I worry too much. I don't ever want to hurt another person. That is truly my nature, and I am a teacher at heart, and I do care genuinely about people, but I cannot put my worth and my value in the hands of somebody else. I have to know in my heart that I've done my best, or that I'm doing my best, or I'm taking my best steps, because as Sadhguru told us today, the only way we're going to find that true happiness is inside of us. The success, we need some outside help, but you've got outside help. This tribe is outside help. This tribe has brought me further than, I feel like I've learned more in this year than I did in my college education. That was another promise my grandma extracted from me. That's another funny story. She passed away in my last semester of college, and her cemetery was on the way to school. So in the middle of winter, I'd roll down the window as I went by, and I'd scream out how many more classes I had to go. I'm sure I made a lot of people crazy, but it was kind of like my way of going, countdown, Grandma, 10 more to go. And I kept doing it. But I feel like this group has gotten me further than I did, because it's giving me life skills. College gave me the tools to learn to research, and that was my strength. I'm a legal researcher by nature. That I had legal attorneys telling me, you ever want a job, come to me. You're the strongest legal researcher I've ever seen. But accounting had a hold of me then, and I wasn't ready to let go. And then when they said, you have to represent people who are guilty, and I'm like, oh no, I'm not going to do that. So I realized that it was something else. But the self-work that comes in here is just amazing. I'm on fire this evening. My face even got red. Ooh! But it's there. It's there if you want to do it. So again, you got to want to do the work. And it is work. But for me, it's the best work I've ever done in my life. I like who I am. And you know what? I didn't like who I was. You know, everyone said nice things. They always said nice things because I tried, but I never thought it was good enough. I never thought I was good enough. I never thought, you know, I always felt like I was letting people down. And finally I realized the only person I was letting down is myself, you know, and that's what I want for you guys. You have to start to know that you're worth it. And Sadhguru is exactly right. We put that control in somebody else's hands, and it's yours. And this group has given me those options to kind of clear out the cobwebs, open up the door, and tell all the darkness and the crazy monkey, you're on that side, and I'm not letting you back in, because it feels good to be here. And I have tools. When the little crazy monkey comes out, it'll be an extra session of meditation, and I will meditate the little bugger till he's gone, because I'm not letting him back in, because it's beautiful on this side. I mean, I am. I mean, if my boss had really talked to me much and found out that I'm opening businesses and I'm planning, you know, like as I get into, you know, years of maybe retiring, the word retire to me is going to mean something different. I'm going to be active because I want to be productive, but I want to pick it. Monkey brain does suck. I hate monkey brain. I want him to go away, be gone. He swat him away like a fly. But I want my retired years, and Kate is one doing this, but I want my retirement years to be productive years. I think that if you slow, and I'm not saying you have to go 24/7, but I want to control how my future's going. Like I've done some research, and I would love to maybe laptop entrepreneur doing an ancestry trip. I found during COVID, and this was a cool gift, but I found my great-grandparents, and I found when they came over to America, and I found their graves unmarked, and I found their story, and I told my dad their story. And I found their story, and it's so cool because we went online and we ordered markers, and we learned their history, and it was a gift I gave my dad, and I didn't even know. But we know, like my great-grandparents came over, and my great-grandfather came over. He was a married man. He came over. His wife didn't come over for a year later, and when she came over, her family, some of her family came with her, and they met up here. They had my grandfather. They had 3 other kids, and sadly, during the Spanish flu pandemic of 1918, she died, leaving 4 kids behind. The oldest one not quite 10, and the youngest one 4 years old. And then within 10 years, my grandfather, being the oldest, was left with no father, no mother, and the youngest sibling was gone. And it was just him and 2 others. So I saw a whole different part of his life, and I got to talk to my dad about it, and we found them. We did some research, and we found them. We found the communal housing where they were living. We've ordered the markers for their graves, but we've done the research, and we're putting together a little packet to share with the rest of the family because nobody knows about them. And it all started with this, and having more confidence and reaching out and learning things, it's just a beautiful life if you reach out and live it. Homeschooling. Yeah, cool. And that might be because another gift of mine, and I haven't done it in a while, and I started thinking about it too, the teacher thing is a natural in my family. I come from a long line of teachers, and I have a cousin who was murdered when he was younger, and it was a drug-related thing. That was the day when I realized that people can make mistakes, and you can't judge a person by the mistakes that happen in their life because you don't know their story. And when he died, he was dyslexic, and they kind of told him, if you don't get to a certain reading level, you'll never graduate. And he made some choices that he felt he didn't have any other choices, and he was gone before he was 30 years old. So I started tutoring learning disabled and reading in his memory. And recently, I've had my students reach out to me telling me how I've changed their lives. One of my students, I can remember her too, she'd go, "Teresa, some of us aren't meant to go to college, and I just wish you would stop telling me to have an open mind about it." And she reached out to me and told me she graduated from Michigan State, and she's in hospitality in Arizona somewhere. And another one is in flight school in Pensacola, Florida right now. He's a serviceman. So it's kind of cool that when you open yourself up, there's a lot of amazing things out there. So give yourself a chance to find out what your gifts are, and then translate your life into those gifts. It doesn't come at first. That's kind of what I'm doing, is I'm kind of picturing out, how am I going to make my future? And there's so many people here. I mean, Kate and Mandy and Mary and Doc V and Catherine, there's all these people, Cynthia, they've all done things. So as we're trying to learn what our path is, they're there to kind of help you along. Yeah, about the group, the brainstorming and the developing of stuff together, because it's a better together group. Like in the office, I feel like everyone's trying to compete with each other, but I feel like here we all truly support each other. And that's the best kind of brainstorming. It's that hand up. And that's what we're all looking for, is that hand up. I think there's plenty of, and you'll see this with Doc V, there's plenty of opportunities out there. We don't have to compete with each other. We can help each other. And coining in the phrase, but make the world a better place. We're going to have some hard years ahead, and maybe we can be part of making things better for some people. And I know I'm a blabbermouth today too, but I do think that if you're looking for something to change, this could be a great place for you, because this group of people is supportive. Yep, Catherine, open, and it's pushed me uncomfortably, but now I'm more comfortable, and I'm doing things I never thought I would do. Reaching out to people. Okay, and you guys will laugh about this one. Not only me, but I have my mother reading Tony Robbins. She's reading Date with Destiny right now, and she told me today she likes it. because she's telling me, I don't want to fight with your dad. I just want to accept him, you know, because they're both home all the time now and they can't get out. And she's like, I just want to accept things. And I'm like, oh, that's exactly what it is. Because that's what I told her. I don't, you know, sometimes we look at things the wrong way, but it's kind of cool because we're talking about that, you know, so because I have the book and I bought her the book, and my goddaughter I've sent books to. So at some point, but you know what? They're all open to it and they're all receptive to it. So synergy, 1 + 1 is more than 2. It is. And together we can all. And I think we're going to need each other because as the world, we have a lot of baggage and darkness that has happened this past year. And I'm careful who I say it to or how I say it to, but I didn't come out of this time dark. I was able to come out of this time with growth and learning and opportunities. And the greatest thing would be is if I can share that with other people, and we can all share that with other people, because I'm not settling for less. And I don't want you guys to either. And there is, I mean, you're only seeing a handful of the people in the group, and they're there. And it might be exactly like Doc V said earlier, Tara. There may be 300 of like 600, but the 300 are active regularly. You will get to know names. You will get to know people. You will see their stories. You will follow their journeys. You'll follow their pages. You'll follow their lives or their YouTube pages. And it's an amazing thing. And a lot of this I know I wouldn't be doing if it wasn't for Doc V, because I actually participate in group with him every week too, and I have since he opened group. I started right out the gate because I knew I was in trouble. But the thing is now, the only trouble I'm going to have is deciding how I'm going to fit all this stuff in, because it's not going to be bad trouble anymore. It's going to be pretty exciting, and I hope that you guys can join me on that. Yeah, never settle. Never, ever settle. So I guess because I've been going for almost 45 minutes, I will say I'm just going to kind of revisit that, like Sadhguru said, we need to keep, well, this is from prior, keep ourselves open, meditate, do the things that are going to make our health better, because if we're going to have a longer life, we want it to be a quality life. And make sure that we keep our mind positive, because when you keep your mind positive, you're willing to reach more. Tony Robbins says it in one of his books. A pessimist will stop short of what they can accomplish, but an optimist will kind of go, oh, I can do it. I can do it. Even if they can't do it and they don't do a very good job of it, they'll keep trying until they get it. And that's the key. Don't ever stop until you get it. It's yours. It's yours. All you got to do is never stop till you claim it, and you will get it. So I will say goodbye till tomorrow. If there's any questions, Catherine, come with me on the journey. I think we're going to all have a big party one day. We're going to all get together because we're all friends distantly. So together we're going to all come. We're going to all, we're going to make this world better. If not, we're going to have our own little small world that's going to be better, because I'm not, that stuff, no. So today, if you haven't joined the group, you might want to think about it. He's offering a great deal, and I would sign up all over again, and I'd be mad that I left out on a year. I am so glad that I accepted the hand up a year ago, because it's changed my life more than I could ever tell you. Oh, yeah. You know what? As soon as I end this live, I will go and I will add my YouTube to it, because I wanted to make sure I had permission, because I don't want to take any liberties. So I will do that after I end this, but thank you so much. I appreciate you guys so much. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. And remember, everybody in this group has reaching a hand down to help somebody up, because we all have somebody with a hand out to help us up. So have a beautiful day. Get a big water bottle, only if it's water, no pop. And I'll show you my new journals tomorrow, because they're supposed to be here. So have a beautiful night. Thank you guys for everything. And sleep well and enjoy some sun tomorrow. Thank you.